Very cold St James's Park. It is freezing here tonight. Good to see plenty of you guys on, waiting in the comments. Probably complaining that you think I've been late again. Anyway, let's have a look. Yeah, there's plenty on there. I'll make sure I've got the settings correct so I get to see everything that you guys send in here, or messages. Thanks for all the comments so far. I see them streaming in. Right, let's get started on that one. Look, I think Newcastle United were shoddy, sloppy, didn't deserve anything from the game. I think they found themselves lucky that they were ahead at the break. I didn't think they deserved it. Fulham in that first half were the better team, but didn't really create anything. Lots of balls in the box. They started creating things in the second half, and deservedly, I thought, took the 3 points today. This place used to be a fortress in many ways. I think Dom tweeted the stat out saying Newcastle United only lost 5 games in the previous 2 seasons. They've lost 4 out of 12 here at home this season. They haven't got a good home record this season. My thoughts on what I thought with regards to the team itself. I thought the midfield was pretty anonymous today. I've been Tonali's biggest fan in recent times. I thought defensively, he was poor today. I thought he gave a lot more going forward, but I'm not sure that was necessarily his job on the day, and I thought it left gaps galore. I thought Bruno tried to make things happen, but again, it wasn't much. The changes that the team made in that midfield, Joe Linton wasn't at it again. That's his 3rd game in a bounce. He hasn't been at it. He was physical, but and in the wars, but not really a threat. Gordon looked the only threat, but then really drifted out of the game in the last 20 minutes. He seemed to drop back 25 yards as Newcastle looked for another goal. But they didn't deserve anything from the game today. I don't think anybody who was here and watched it can have many complaints about the result. It was just a really sloppy, shoddy performance. And they're going to have to be better. They're really going to have to improve things if they're going to get to where they want to go. Because you cannot be relying upon away Fulham to pull you through. And they're going to need a better performance in this. And it might, look, I think Wednesday night's probably a different kettle of fish. It's a game where I think you will stay fired up Newcastle United with a different purpose to them. I don't anticipate there'll be any new players in by then, which I know a lot of you are. I can imagine what some of the comments and some of the thoughts people will be having is saying it needs freshened up. I don't think that's going to happen. Just funny as I say that, as Paul Mitchell comes down from the press, from the... Can you reach in the background here? Can you see? There he is there. Just coming over my shoulder on the way down. A lot of you guys will be saying we need to get signings in and things like that. It just isn't the strategy that they've got of the team, so you can shout all you want, but it just isn't the strategy of the club, at the moment. Short-term pain, long-term gain. Obviously, I've mentioned that before on Geordie Journal's videos. So, right, I'm going to jump in the comments. I'm freezing cold. I have no idea how many of you guys want to talk, want to chat. Do you want to really pick the bones out of that one? Because I just thought it was the second best. Like I said, the way 2 words are shot me. Forget them out. Sloppy and shoddy performance with the ball, without the ball. Laboured. Looks like a team that needs new energy. And I'm not saying when I talk about the strategy of the club that I necessarily agree with it, but if the money's not there, the money's not there. Can't really do much about it, but it looks like a team that needs a little bit of freshening up. It isn't going to happen. Right, first comment today was from Wayne John. Scrappy game, overthinking again around the box. For fuck's sake, it's just got 2. They just got 2. I don't know what it was. Maybe you are commenting during the game. Jeff Hall awful again, second half. Too many balls given away in midfield. Arsenal will be tasting blood. I think they will too. We're enjoying a game I haven't enjoyed. Gordon, my man of the match. I thought he was. I thought he was quite good for 60 minutes. I thought he was excellent in the first half. Actually, him and Byrne were probably the stand-up players in that first half, and everyone else was below par. But yeah, it wasn't to be. SGR, that was a hard game to watch. DEC, frustrating second half, needed some magic. Charlie Smith, that was painful to watch, almost as bad as the Bournemouth game. You say it all the time, lads, consistently inconsistent. That's a good point, going back to that. I put the Bournemouth game down to fatigue after the heavy Christmas period, but there's absolutely no excuse for that today. They've just lost something. I can't put my finger on what it is. I'm not sure anybody can, but they have just lost something at the moment. I would argue, and this might be controversial, I would argue they've not really played fluently or played that well since the Emirates. That's nearly a month. They've got results in that time. Like I say, they managed to get something last week without really being win last week without really being flashy. Lost to Bournemouth. Managed to beat Bromley without really being great in that game. What else have we had? Wolves. They beat Wolves here 3-0 without really being that good. It hasn't been a vintage month after what was quite a stellar December. It hasn't really been a flashy January apart from that first week. Since then they've struggled. Look, I hope they can fire something up. I hope there's some fire in the belly for Wednesday because they're going to need it. Put in another performance like this, or put it the last 3 home games. Put in a performance like Wolves, Bournemouth, or Fulham, and they're in for some trouble. And it could be a very, very nervy night. But anyway, we'll see. Caseball UK, garbage second half. Massively short of players. Tell how to get rid of Longstaff, Trippier, Kelly, Willock. So predictable the way we play. Same every game. Charlie Smith. I say it every week, but I'm tired of watching Livramento try to play football. He's an athlete and that's about it. There's no footballing quality about him. I think there is a little bit, but I do get what you're saying. He needs a lot of work in that respect. Dean say, hope we play better on Wednesday. Well, I think everybody does, mate. Charlie Smith again. I hope we play semi-finals just on the... I hope and pray the semi-finals on the players' minds and they're up for it, because if they show that level of energy on Wednesday, we get rolled over by 3 or 4. Or Featherstone. We're having another pre-Carabao slump. Consecutive home defeats ahead of a go-home game that was growing in importance. Caseball UK hope the reporter asks real hard questions of how and why he isn't demanding that we sign players now. I don't think that's a question for him. He's very accepting of the situation and he knows that it is not the football club that is preventing things happen. So I think as a lot of fans have probably got to retrain their brain and repoint, you get angry about certain things and point the finger in certain directions. The finger is not to be pointed. It isn't Paul Mitchell saying you cannot sign players, Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe is very accepting of the situation is the way it is, because he's quite normal thinking and reasoned. He understands. I'd be surprised if we hear anything on the contrary to that, because he kind of accepts it. But I agree. I think the team needs freshened up. But I could have said that all the way through till the back end of last season, and they haven't been able to do it. So, but it isn't the football club that's holding things back. It's the restrictive rules. We're seeing other football clubs hit by them. It isn't just a Newcastle United problem. It's a frustrating one though, and I do get that. Stay, you hope you don't get Champions League by losing home games to West Ham, Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham. Charlie Smith, I see lots of people saying a bad second half. It was bad from minute 15. It was actually. I don't remember Lennon having a save to make. Warren Beatar, we have 2 world-class players and 3 super players. If they do not perform week in, week out, we are screwed. Wafi Wahab, how. People are shouting down to Willisula while he's warming up. Warming up or warming down even. Wayne John asking why Kelly was on. Need to score early against Arsenal, simple as that. John Story, 4 home defeats, embarrassing performance from a team who actually look like they're in trying to avoid Europe. David Martel, hi Liam, hi mate. Very poor performance. The lack of intensity is puzzling. Eddie can't use midweek game as an excuse. Northumberland rock up, I concede first Arsenal, we will crumble. We look terrible at the minute. There will be nerves. If something like that does come about, there will be nerves, there's no doubt about that. Ali B1, woeful, SGR, couldn't believe Willock missed that shot. I don't know what he was thinking. But I think Joe Willock's really showing some struggles, really struggling at the minute. Doesn't look the same player. Not that I've ever said I was his biggest fan anyway. Anybody who regularly watches that will probably know, but he's just some way off even what he was back then. LB1, I really want to know why Spurs have 9 new sponsor deals since September and we have 1 from Red Bull. Cannot rely entirely on rinsing fans through retail. Willock needs sold while he has value. Another shocker from Big Joe. He could be at risk in the summer too, given his age value. Mark Lane, that's only 20 points at home from 12 games. I think it's time we ask a few questions about it. Daniel 4224, surprised how little control we had in midfield today. Very disappointing. I thought that was a big tell in the game. I thought the midfield was largely non-existent. Joe Linton was very poor, and I thought Tonali was poor. In a defensive sense, I think he was brought in for that defensive cover. I don't think he gave Newcastle any of that defensive cover today. That doesn't mean I'm criticising him as a footballer. I love him as a footballer. I thought today I didn't think he gave Newcastle United the kind of defensive cover they needed. Look, he certainly tried to make things happen by bursting forward, but he did not really do the job that he's dovetailed so well with Bruno in doing in recent weeks. Alibi 1. I don't know who to pick as man of the match. Maybe Tonali. I've just said Tonali. That wouldn't be it for me. But even he wasn't his best. He was nowhere near his best. Midfield was terrible. Gordon, I guess, for creating the goal for Murphy for his 200th game. Natalie Wilkinson, the next 3 Prem games are probably the hardest. If we don't find a solution fast, we'll be sliding down that table. Fair point made. H279C. How have we got to a point where 4 years into take, Willock was our best player off the bench, he shouldn't start for Everton? That's a fair point. Mandy Pyle, so bad today, I knew they were not going to win this game. Craig, piss poor performance. Paul Charlton, weekend ruin. Don't let it ruin your weekend. Never let Newcastle United ruin your weekend. I know I don't like it either, but come on lads, lasses. Stephen Kennedy, were they all not trying to get injured before the semi? I don't think so. Graham Doherty's second half, I think we had our minds on Arsenal. I don't think so. Don 1, did we not play on purpose because of Wednesday? I don't think so. Paul Sprague, the subs made no impact whatsoever. Willock's injury has finished him. He's terrible. I thought the changes today actually made Newcastle worse. It was a bit all over the shop, but what's new? Natalie Wilkinson, Arsenal fans are going to now come thinking they have a chance. I think they do anyway. John Story, embarrassing performance from a side who don't deserve top 5. 4th home defeat already. Sandro can't carry us every week, and Big Joe needs to be dropped. He's sloppy and produces nothing. Craig, Big Joe, okay, now he seemed to come off injured. Ali B1, shout sign winger, Liam. Me a shout sign winger. But loud in St James's Park. I'm not going to do that. I'll give you a little span around because I know people who watch this do like to know where I am. They're probably like thinking, I don't like that view. Let's have a little look at this place that mostly all of you know and love. Right, Julio Jodio, God help us Wednesday, mate. Fair point. Russell Wallace outside the goal, which is a back post tap, and he offered nothing. Must be talking about Murphy here. We need a better right winger. Dean Young, this quarter day, constantly giving the ball away. Dreadful. Scott, awful performance. Got a player in now to motivate everyone. I think that would be a good thing. I just don't think it's going to happen. Steve, they've got no excuses for today. They've had a full week's preparation, so can F off with a tiredness excuse. You don't get Champions League by losing home games to said teams. Jonathan Burton, PSR is looking more and more an excuse. Any truth in Bremer rumours? No. Mitchell going down to see Eddie after that isn't a coincidence. He goes down every game. That's not a one-off, so I wouldn't read too much into that. Dean Young, I can't remember us winning a second ball. Dean was second to everything the day. Dean writes in absolutely putrid, that awful. NSI, the manager just watches as we were continuously put under pressure. I was screaming at the TV for him to do something, but nout. Then he panics and throws the kitchen sink at it. We're done. He needs to go. I think that's... I'm not going to entertain those kind of things. I don't think... Look, it was a bad day and a bad game and a bad result, and we've had a couple of bad performances, largely. Probably hasn't been a great one, as I mentioned, but I'm not going to go down those routes again. I just don't think it's a time to play. As Dean writes in, 100% agree, we haven't been right since then. Yep. Gary D, the team looks shattered and devoid of ideas other than long balls. They seem to have reverted back to the mindset of before the run. Correct, I agree. Yeah, Griffin, Fulham have done the double over us. We're not a Champions League team, that's fair. Virginia, saludos desde Colombia. Don't know what that means, but I'm interested to know. Maybe hello from Colombia, hello to you too. Paul Featherstone, completely agree about our recent performances playing in short periods. Rob Max, there's a few times we've been turned over at home, it certainly is. Virginia, again, I can't read Spanish, apologies. Silly Goose, bottled that big style. John Story, Eddie has coached the flair right out of Tino's game. I don't think Tino ever had flair, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Mad Mac, well, we did not need Mystic Mag to read her tea leaves for predicting the result today, never mind this season. I'll give Mystic Mag the night off and make my predictions. Typical NUFC. Gadius, second half worse than Brighton. Okay, we need Big Joe back to his best. He's nowhere near at the minute, is he? Jinky, you could have scored that Willock chance. Maybe. You know about my record. Ian Robson, 9 wins from 11. Not a good night, but we need to keep things. That's fair. It's statistically good, correct. But I think you've also got to dig a little deeper than just superficial sort of looking at just purely one statistic, because I think the eye test is always a good one, and it hasn't been great since the Emirates, in my opinion. Right, Virginia saying hello, how are you too, thanks for joining the conversation. Paul K, Willock just doesn't deliver often enough. I'd sell him in the summer. Princess Sophie, our subs don't link up well with our first 11, no impact. I agree. Dean Ashton, loans from Saudi help secure Champions League 3 windows and owners not doing enough. Slim Jim, Liverpool top of the league. Have been for a while. John Quinn was sickening. I don't understand why we try to walk the ball into the net. Paul K, Murphy was good, my man of the match. Silly Goose, we must be the only club that hasn't sold on someone for massive money to inject our PSL. Grealish, Rice, Solanke have allowed those clubs to compound spend. Paul Featherstone, Miley, Botman and Pope back for the semi. Interesting. CPSL could prevent us again from strengthening the first team adequately this summer. I don't think it will. Robert Hirschberger, what's up, mate? Northumberland Rockhop, I think Big Joe needs replacing. He's terrible footballer, good at breaking things up, but he's awful on the ball. Big Gone Labour. How and team bereft of ideas today. Okay, we need a big, ambitious announcement in the future of the stadium. That's not the day for today. Let's just stick to the game. Okay, it goes to prove that we've got at best 14 decent players. The drop off after that is huge. That's fair. David Vickers, rugby, a real man's sport. I used to play the game a little bit myself, both codes, and I do enjoy it. I love rugby. William Headley, take the hit. We are losing more points per game than losing to FFP. Get our squad up to scratch. John Mitchinson, in my opinion, J7 needs to be sold. Stephen McElroy. 3 weeks ago, Eddie was the main man. Now people want him out. Meant our fan base can't win them all, man. Good team, Fulham. Kenzie XII. What's happened to us? We look knackered despite playing one game a week. Shocking 7.5 performance. I think they look like a team who needs a bit of, it needs impetus. So I get it. I think people are right calling for new signs, but it just isn't going to happen, I don't think. Virginia Bueno. Steve. What's scary in the middle, Crone at the back, Kennedy in attack. It's probably the other way around, I'll be brutally honest. I'll be at the back and Cronin will be in attack. Newcastle are going to get the Champions League. I don't think they will. I said that even before the game to the lads here on my sitting. I don't think Newcastle will finish in the top 5 this season. I think they'll probably be 6 or 7, which was similar to last season. And it'll be good enough for Europe. That will be my prediction where we are now. Marco 4863 championship bench, and second goal was diabolical. 2-man wall. Cher blamed Isak. No, Cher, it was your fault for not covering. Cher should have moved Isak and took charge. Linda, hi. Just joined. Don't know what you've said, but I think the ref destroyed this match. He wasn't good, was he? I'll be fair with you on that one. I think so, but I think Newcastle United can only really look at themselves in the mirror, in my opinion. We weren't at our best, but we shouldn't have lost. I think Fulham deserved it. I can't really have any complaints. Everyone's welcome to their opinion though. Lane K15 is Gordon overrated? I don't think so. AD Stewards kick out of the stadium. Well, kick me out. Whereas welcome as will ever be here at St James's Park. We'll not be getting kicked out of here. Johnny Boy Poor again. George Morley, they had a whole week to prepare for that. I didn't think it was really a shape or selection problem. I thought it was a bit... I thought individually, it was sloppy. I think it was more individual performances. Just let themselves down a little bit, but it's one of those days. They've got to pick themselves up and move on and improve for the next game. Mark Lane, Botman has to play. Don't care if Burns being great, but surely you play your best centre half. I've made that point before. They signed him to replace the two that are playing, so there is a point to say, well, why wouldn't you play him? But I didn't think Burn really let himself down today, so he's the one you bring him in for, and I couldn't at the moment. John Football Mad, really worried for Wednesday now. George Morley, good teams don't let poor refs affect the outcome. Correct. Waldo, if we don't overpower sides, we just don't win. Johnny Ola, no game changers on the bench. PSR killing us, I agree with that. John Story, no top 5, no Isak. Virginia, I saw the Nottingham Forest game. It's going very well. It's going to win the Premier League. Forest, I don't think so. John Mitchinson, if no Champions League, the big players won't be happy with that, and maybe some will go. Some will have to pay the money. That's what I'd say. Right, 241 of you guys on here. 29 late. I'm freezing. I'm bitter. Is there anything more you want to talk about? Because I'm done. I don't think we need to go over the bones of that one too much. And there will be an analysis video coming up very, very soon. So let's dig deeper on that one. Doesn't seem to be too many of you guys in the comments today, and I get why. It was a really underwhelming day. When Newcastle just were never at the races. I hope we'll give you I always try and give you a little bit of a snapshot, flash as to where we are. But look, the lads need to produce the goods. It's got to go. It's the last couple of weeks has been the wake-up call potentially ahead of Wednesday, and they need to produce something better. But I think they will. And I'm not a blind positivity kind of guy. I do think Wednesday has a feel of a potentially special night, and I think the lads will produce the performance, because it does bring a spark in them. those kind of big games under the lights. Let's hope so anyway. Let's hope so. Right, I'm gonna shoot. Thank you so much everybody for getting involved in the conversation. Like, comment, share, subscribe for all the Jolly Journos content. Right, I will see you guys on the main video with Domsky and Jordan Cronin. Cheers guys.